not look at Sunshine right now because this is Odyssey. And here begins the Odyssey. So, the first kingdom, after we have a little bit of cutscene skipping here, is going to be Cap Kingdom. Now, Cap Kingdom, there's nothing too specific to it like there are most kingdoms. It's just going to be some simple movement. You're going to see a lot of rolling. Rolling is the form of movement that is really the form of movement that you're going to see the most. It's the fastest in most cases. And so you're going to see a lot of it. And for those who don't know, I guess a popular question to ask in chats are the PB differences between two racers. In this race, we have Oddme on the left with a 109.27 and Baga Jr. on the right with a 107.56. So that is a major, not a major, it's a minute and a half PB lead for Baga Jr., but Oddme is no slouch, and it's not like you can always play on PB level, so we'll see what happens in this race. Our first capture here is going to be these frogs. Really, the main way to save time by using these frogs is going to be you're going to want to time your jumps correctly so that you spend as little time as possible pushing against the wall and as much time as possible moving forward. And heading into the top of Top Hat Tower, we're going to see both racers go to the left. Oddme looks scary, but gets it. Baga Jr. also gets it fine. Into the first brutal fight against Topper. Very nice on both racers. You're going to see a common theme with the bosses in this game, and that is you can time, if you do the right thing in between attacks, you can skip a cycle of the boss attacking you, which is really nice for speedrunning because it means you don't have to just sit there and wait for enemy attacks to happen before you get to deal more damage. And that's Cap Kingdom. So after this little animation logo here, we're going to be heading to the second kingdom, which is Cascade Kingdom. And Cascade has a pretty major technique coming up later, but for now you're going to see, in most areas of this game, there's usually an enemy or two or three that really takes priority and that really plays out the kingdom. And in this kingdom, it's going to be Chain Chomp. So you're going to see a lot of things in this kingdom. Well, you're not going to see too much of this kingdom, but if you were to see more of this kingdom, a lot of the kingdom would be based around some of these Chain Chomps. But coming up for both streams, we have something that the Chain Chomps aren't really going to be needed for. Baga Jr. and Oddme both heading up to the Odyssey. And now they're going up here. So this is going to be a trick called Dino Jump, T-Rex Jump. Usually it's a toss-up between those two names. I usually call it Dino Jump just because it rolls off my tongue easier. But they're going to use this trampoline, and if the dinosaur's left foot hits that trampoline, you'll bounce off of it with incredible height, and you can make it to this boss fight without having to go all the way around. Baga Jr. got it perfectly first try. Oddme struggling with it a little bit, running around trying to get on the trampoline, but eventually makes it to the boss fight against Madame Brood. The main goal of this fight is to, as fast as possible, you want to hit Chain Chompkins, which is the name of this golden chomp, and capture him to hurling himself into Madame Brood. Baga Jr. getting an amazing fight. Oddme's fight going pretty well so far. But the kind of mess-ups on Dino Jump gives Baga Jr. a little bit of a lead getting this Grand Boon. So, in this game, for those who aren't 100% aware, unlike most 3D Mario games, instead of having to just get a certain amount of stars to unlock an area, in this game you have to get a certain amount of moons to leave an area. And in Cascade Kingdom, it's 5. So the runners are going to take a pit stop over to this cliff side to get a 5th moon and then throw it on the Odyssey. Bagajr Jr.'s about to leave Cascade. Oddme's just grabbing that moon. Got a little bit of cutscenes here. Just waiting for the Odyssey to be repaired from the moons. So, alright. Cutscene's mostly over. Now, it's gonna be time for Sand Kingdom, which can be pretty tricky. It's one of the few kingdoms where, at least with the level of skill in this part of the tournament, you're still gonna be seeing some route divergence between each racers and where they go. Sometimes. You don't see it every time. Sometimes the racers do the same route. But there are a few routes. There's stuff like Sphinx and Music Notes and Sphinx Clip. So we'll see what happens between these two racers. It looks like Oddme's going to get the bird right off of the bat. Meanwhile, Bagajr Jr. is not quite going for the bird yet. So, we'll see how that reconciles later. For now, some of these moons that they're just kind of randomly ground pounding and they're appearing, your controller will rumble. And the way that HD Rumble works, it will kind of guide you towards the moon. I don't understand HD Rumble and don't understand how the game expects you to find ground pound moons using HD Rumble. But when you run this game, you just kind of memorize the locations of where the 3D Rumble moons are, and are able to pound them and grab them really quickly. So now Bagajr Jr. in the ruins, and we'll hopefully see if this goes right. Looks like that bullet bill hopefully should be good. Yep, that bullet bill followed perfectly. So you want to get a bullet bill there like that, because what's going to happen is as soon as you get this moon, you want to grab this bullet bill and take it all the way to this pillar. And this pillar has a moon on it. This was one of the more recent route changes, was this pillar right here. And hold up, having a little bit of alright. Sorry about that. Was having a little bit of an issue on my own end. But heading over to luggage and now heading over to Sphinx. Based on the fact that Bagajr Jr. did not go for the bird, yeah, I was correct on assuming he's going to go into the Sphinx. Looks like he's not trying the clip though, and if Oddme tries it, that might save a little bit of time. I don't know if Oddme would do that, however. Alright, let's see what Oddme does here. Oddme's heading to the side. Oddme's not going in the Sphinx at all. Alright. Honestly, a little bit surprising. So it looks like Bagajr Jr. is going to be skipping the Music Note moon at the end in this route. Meanwhile, Oddme skipped going into the Sphinx, which also means we'll probably be seeing route divergence between Sand and Seaside, or Snow and Seaside Kingdoms later, but I'll talk more about that when it's relevant. For now, we have Jaxi Ruins. You're supposed to this moon, not this moon on the pillar that Bagajr Jr. is about to get, but this moon up here in this treasure chest is called the Treasure of Jaxie Ruins, and you're supposed to go into the secret area in the ruins and then come out up there in order to do that, in order to get that moon. But with that bullet bill, you can just get on top of the Jaxie Ruins early. Oddme accidentally rolling into the poison. That's going to set him back, I believe, unless he collected a checkpoint in the ruins, which he fortunately did. So he's only going to be set back not too far, which is good for him because you don't want to be set back that far. Still going to lose a little bit more time than he would like, though, especially against an opponent as good as bagajr Jr. And bagajr Jr. is warping back to the Odyssey. Oddme heading into the Oasis, going to get the Mound of Birds and the music notes that we saw bagajr Jr. skip. And that's sand for bagajr Jr. and soon to be sand for Oddme. Yeah, that's what the music notes look like. They're fairly simple. Using motion controls, Cappy can hold on to certain objects, and that can really just not be too good. Or, what am I saying? That can be really good for collecting moons fast. I mean, it can sometimes be a nuisance, but usually if you're good enough, it won't be a nuisance. So bagajr Jr. heading to the Lake Kingdom now. This is one of the shorter kingdoms, and it's one of the easier, in my personal opinion. I don't think there's too much to this kingdom that would make it a challenge besides the boss at the end of it, but hopefully that means we won't see either of the runners choke it. So this is a little skip, actually. Jumping over this wall, you're supposed to go through this big underwater tunnel to get up to where bagajr Jr. is now. And it's just not fun, but you can just jump that. And that actually, Cappy, like, gives you some sort of compliment, I believe, for making that jump, so it's pretty nice. But now Lake is obviously Lake, there's water. It's in the word lake, basically. So we're going to see a lot of cheap movement. Now, something that the game actually doesn't tell you unless you go into the action guide, if you press the dive and ascend buttons at the same time, you do a speed spin as the cheap, and really that just is, as the name speed spin implies, faster than normal swimming. So you're going to see a lot of just quick button pressing to move faster underwater. And going up on fish jump here, gonna jump out of the fish and wall jump to get up to the boss platform without having to raise all the other platforms. Absolutely beautiful. bagajr Jr. heading into Rango, where he's gonna use some timed backflips to skip both attack and damage cycles, and both of them early, and get an absolutely beautiful fight. And that's Lake for bagajr Jr. Oddme's about to head up to do fish jump. We'll see if he gets it, hopefully. Looks like he was a little bit back, but goes for it again and gets it perfectly fine with a ledge grab, which usually you wall kick that. So now we have Oddme heading into Rango, so we'll see how Oddme does. And Oddme also gets an absolutely beautiful fight. Alright, now, bagajr Jr. finishing Lake, got the 8 moons required to leave. Going to be heading to Wooded Kingdom. Now, Wooded Kingdom is actually quite a challenging one for one major gimmick in the kingdom, and that is, if you fall well in Wooded Kingdom, in most cases, instead of falling and dying and going back to your last checkpoint or loading zone, you will fall into what is called the deep woods, where you can't teleport out, and you have to find a seed-giving robot and plant a beanstalk in order to climb out. Now, Baga Jr. getting a nice start to the kingdom, fortunately, but the deep woods can really be a race decider, especially in a race with a skill cap, like a skill ceiling. Not a skill ceiling, but a skill gap that's really small in between these two racers. The first of 2 moons you buy in the run is also in water. Almost Baga Jr. almost buying by accident the life up heart, which would have been really bad. So Baga Jr. actually did a skip there that I failed to mention. By triple jumping and getting up that waterfall, you skip having to go around to the top of the Sphinx and then take a different path to get up to where that area is normally. Baga Jr. here is taking some uprootless movement to get to this nut. So what this is, Wooded Kingdom, I mentioned earlier a lot of, what's it called? Give me a second to remember the name. Usually a lot of kingdoms in this game revolve around 1 or 2 major enemies that you use for most of them. In Wooded, there's 2 mostly, but you don't really see the second enemy in the any percent route. So the main thing is these uproots enemies, which are these onions that stretch their legs. And Baga Jr. showing off an amazing flooded pipeway. Flooded pipeway is one of the most... So, when you take damage in this game, you heal your damage when you collect the moon. Now, oh no. Oh, phew. Baga Jr. landing on a platform there, but still falling down and losing some time. So, but when you take damage in this game and collect the moon, it heals your damage. However, the animation of you being healed by the moon wastes time. So it's going to take 2.2 seconds to heal you after collecting a moon if you have 2 HP. And if you have 1 HP, it takes 2.5 seconds to heal you. So, really, Flooded Pipeway is a major example of not getting hit at all. And because you can lose up to 5 seconds in just getting moons if you're unlucky, not even including the animation of taking damage once you're hit by a fuzzy. And Baga Jr. heading into the second part of Wooded Kingdom. Really, the second part is nowhere as long as this first kingdom is in the route. But there's still some tricky movement in it. And another brutal fight, but we'll talk about that in like a minute or so when we get to it. Baga Jr. doing a roll cancel to get that much speed and make that jump over to this platform without having to wait for the flower trail. And nicely done. Oddme maybe about to do the same jump. Yeah, we're gonna see Oddme try and set it up and go for it, get a really nice triple jump and make it. Now, Baga Jr. in the tower here, in Sky Garden Tower, about to do a little neat movement thing, gonna stretch as far as he can and get up there. Nicely done, without having to go on and off the platform. It's a bit of a weird thing to explain, really. And Baga Jr. heading into the fight against Spewart. Spewart is probably the easiest brutal. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Probably the easiest brutal. Probably my favorite design of the 4 brutals, though. I've not read enough of the text to know how I feel about them when it comes to personality, but Spirit definitely has my favorite design. And that's the Grand Moon and finisher for bagajr. So he's going to head on to the next kingdom fairly soon. Oddme destroying Spirit. Nicely done for both. Alright, so the game kind of teases you a little bit here. So, New Donk City was one of the most hyped levels in this run, in this game, before release. And the game's telling you you're about to go to Metro Kingdom, and then suddenly you land in Cloud Kingdom right here, which is going to be bagajr's next kingdom. And really, this kingdom only serves as a nice little circular platform for you to have your first fight with Bowser. Bowser fights in this game have fairly tricky tech to do them quickly. bagajr doing that first hit perfectly there. Also, we saw after Spirit, due to the 2 talking, that both of our racers are currently in our stream chat right now. So we might see, as time progresses, strats change between the 2 racers to accommodate for their mindsets based on knowing whether they're ahead or behind. I don't know if that'll exactly happen, but maybe it will. bagajr getting a relatively nice fight against that first Bowser. Odyssey still in the middle of the fight, but doing really well on it. But as Oddme's about to clean up the last hit on Bowser, we have bagajr heading towards Lost. And Lost is one of the more technical kingdoms, because the main thing about this kingdom is that you're supposed to have Cappy get stolen by a bird named Klepto, who you may remember from Super Mario 64 as the bird in Shifting Sandland. But using a series of tricky jumps, mostly this one right here, off the tree that bagajr did perfectly to get to this part of the mountain, we're going to try and skip having Cappy ever get taken by Klepto. And that's trickier than it sounds, because not only do you have to make that tricky jump from that tree, which Oddme just bonked and died, unfortunately, but even once you make the jump, you're still not in the clear, because if you fall, if you mess up or something, like bagajr just fell onto this pillar, as you see, there's still triggers for having Cappy get taken by Klepto. So even once you make that first jump over to the side of the mountain, you're still not in the clear, because you still have to avoid the trigger zones for where Cappy should get kidnapped, because that exists on more than just the area where the cutscene warps you to. Because there's one intended location for it to be stolen, but there's triggers all over the place. So it warps you to that one cutscene location when it happens. Oddme not getting Cappy stolen by Klepto actually might put Oddme in the lead here. bagajr defeating Klepto, going to get Cappy back. And since Oddme made Klepto fly away like that, now Klepto will not be stealing Cappy when Oddme goes into where one of those triggers would be. So now the rest of the kingdom for Oddme is just getting the moves that he needs as fast as possible while not dying. Because if you die without a checkpoint, the triggers will respawn for Klepto kidnapping Cappy. But considering Oddme doesn't have a checkpoint and still has Cappy, it doesn't matter if he has to take the intentional death on this moon under the bridge, which he does. Not having to do the intentional death only saves 2 seconds, but at this point, it's alright, really. Oddme now has a lead exiting Lost Kingdom due to Baga Jr.'s unfortunate mishap of getting Cappy stolen. And Oddme is going to be the first of the two into Metro Kingdom. Baga Jr. is actually taking a little bit of a different route here. Instead of getting the moon from behind the wall there, or maybe this was a backup, I'm not 100% sure. No. Instead of getting the moon from behind the wall that Oddme did, Baga Jr. went for the caged gold moon. A little bit of a route divergence, but really nothing major. So, Oddme is the first in the Metro, and as if the game hasn't teased you enough with Metro by sending you to Cloud and then Lost after revealing Metro, Metro is currently dark and rainy and not very fun because Bowser is taken over. So, Oddme jumping on that building is going to skip, is going to skip going around a roadblock, because usually there's a roadblock so you have to go to a construction site to get around it, but using that hotel awning, you can just jump straight up to the top of the building, and you can go around a different way. You're gonna see Baga Jr. do it here, which puts a moon girder sandwich directly on your path, which is good, because it was originally, before the skip was found, not on the way at all, and it was a very long move to get. Oddme making good work of the town hall here, but there's still one pretty scary jump at the end of the town hall. And Oddme makes it, that jump, fortunately. Also, we have a little bit of a knowledge session with Shotgun Ninja in the chat, talking about what I was talking about when it comes to those bird triggers in Lost Kingdom. Not too relevant, because we're not in Lost anymore, but I think that is definitely an interesting thing to look into if you're interested in really the science of how this game works. That's one good thing to know, is those bird triggers, because there are some that are just very weird. But another thing that's very weird is Mecha Wiggler. So Mecha Wiggler, there are a few little strats to speed him up. First thing you want to do is stand as close to the portal that he spawns from as you can, so that these running phases where he runs along the ground ends faster. So the other thing here is if Oddme gets his aim correctly, which doing a good job so far, he could get a 2-cycle fight here where he only goes on that running across the ground phrase attack once. And Oddme successfully got the 2-cycle. If your aiming isn't correct, the 2-cycle can be a fairly difficult one. But Oddme is going to be the first to pick up the Grand Moon and head into Daytime Metro. So now that the game is done teasing you with Cloud, Lost, and Rainy Metro, now Oddme is going to get to experience the true fun of New Bonk City. Pun intended. Meanwhile, Baga Jr. has a little bit of a few gaps in the light with the Mecha Wiggler, but still is able to get the 2-cycle fairly nice. I'm not going to apologize for my puns ever. I mean, until I do, but... So, Oddme going on a scooter. We're gonna see Oddme attempt scooter flip here for the RC car moon. If Oddme fails... Okay, no, Oddme's not going for the second try, just going back to the RC car guy. Looked like he almost destroyed the car there by accident, which would have been very bad for Oddme, but Oddme gets the moon. So I guess I can explain a little bit of a small optimization that Baga Jr. is about to do that I didn't explain when Ami did it. He throws his cap out there, gets his moon, and then uses the homing cappy with the motion controls to just grab that electric pillar from there. And yeah, we don't even see Baga Jr. grabbing the scooter. He's just going straight for the RC car. And he gets it very quickly. In this part of Metro, you see Oddme did very well. Going to use these orange street poles, I don't even know what these are for in real city life. I don't know anything about real city life, but you can use these orange street poles and just kind of fling yourself at a very high speed. And so it's nice for movement in the lower parts of the city where they are, because the flinging speed is really faster than any other speed you have. But Oddme now in a higher part of the city getting this trash moon and then going back down to this construction site and now heading to the very, very top of this tallest building. Baga Jr. just now heading to the wharf near the town hall to do the same moons. And Baga Jr. falling on the garbage moon, but fortunately you can warp back up, but that's going to waste a little bit more time on Baga Jr.'s end, while Oddme is just about to enter the rushing crowd. Krampuski, what happened there was Baga Jr. hit the dumpster, but didn't quite have enough distance and height to make it to where the dumpster was to get the moon. So now Oddme's into the final section of Metro, which is a very easy portion. It's just kind of a few talking to NPCs. You know, they're just NPCs. It's not like they have anything good to say, or do they?
Hi.
Oh? Alright, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't even have to make a joke introducing what Oddme's about to go to. I don't even have to say anything. Everybody knows what's happening, right? Do I have to say it? Because this bassist will say everything that needs to be said. OTEP. And Baga Jr. now heading to these musicians. And that's Metro Kingdom for Oddme. Baga Jr. still not too far behind. I'm gonna calculate a little bit for everybody watching the time difference between these two, because I think this is a fairly good race right now. So that was a, if I remember, a 34-42 fade out from Metro for Oddme. We have someone in chat claiming 56 seconds behind as of basis, and I think that is pretty accurate, actually. We're about to see Baga Jr. exit, what's it called, this area, Metro. Oddme's in Seaside. Now, I believe Baga Jr., because of his sand route, is going to... Yeah, 50 seconds behind. First runs in chat. There, I'm using your real name. Are you happy? No. Oh, okay. We're still going to see Baga Jr. Baga Jr. did not get too many coins in the area for the Sphinx, so we're still going to see Baga Jr. go to Seaside. So we won't have a little bit without knowing time loss, na Batman. No, they're both going to be heading to Seaside first. The main reason people will go to Seaside first is because the fastest route in the Snow Kingdom involves buying a moon from the shop. Oh my goodness, Baga Jr. is at 99 coins. You have to be kidding me. How did I not notice that sooner? No, but the fastest route in Snow Kingdom involves buying a moon from the shop. So, you don't have 100 coins. If you have less than 100 coins, you'll end up going to Seaside first because there's a lot of coins in Seaside, and you'll usually get enough coins, even if you only have around 50 or so, to have 100 by the end of Seaside. Mainly because of this shortcut, there's a lot of coins here. But just in general, Seaside has quite a few coins for you to get if you need 100. We see Oddme at 97 when he was at like 57 before the tunnel. And Oddme heading into that final portion of Seaside here. Meanwhile, Baga Jr. just now heading into what I like to call the fish portion. There's two main parts of Seaside. I like to split kingdoms for the sake of commentary into different portions. And in Seaside, you really have the squidless portion where you try and get as many moons as possible with Mario skipping the squid-like enemy called the Gushin or the Gushin. I'm not 100% sure on the official pronunciation, but I think it's Gushin. And then the Cheep Cheep portion, where you swim around with the Cheep Cheep until you finish the kingdom. And finishing the kingdom, Oddme is doing with a rather nice Seaside. Meanwhile, Baga Jr. just heading into that final section. First runs in chat, verifying Gushin as the correct pronunciation. 38.50 or 38.27 Seaside fade out for Oddme. That's rather nice. So Oddme's now heading to Snow. So what many people know about Snow is that before you achieve peace in the kingdom by doing the race, it's very blizzardy and you can't see much out here. And there's actually not too many moons out here that you can collect, even if you can navigate this blizzard. But one of them that does exist is going to be a good buddy that we're only going to see at this point in the run, and then never again ever for the rest of our lives. Everybody say hello to Captain Toad for me. Everybody say goodbye to Captain Toad for about a minute until Baga Jr. gets there. Because Baga Jr., based on fade-out times, is currently only like 56 seconds. Once again, 56 seconds behind Oddme here. So this is still not a bad race. We have some Captain Toad hate in chat, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it. Alright, we have Odme heading into the shop. Ground Flyer, I only know English. So there's our second moon that you're buying in the run right there in Snow Kingdom. Just like every other moon you can buy in the game, it's 100 points. I'm about to head into the trials here. So, something interesting about Snow is it's one of the weirder kingdoms, if you ask me. So the main gist of it in the overarching story is that you have to unlock this racing ring by doing these 4 kind of trial rooms. And so, in the any percent route, you're going to be entering 3 of the trial rooms, but one of them you're just going to get one of the moons in said trial room, and then leaving. And this one is what many people call the... This place is technically called Wind Chill Caverns, but for the sake of entertainment, this is what we call the Blowy Joey room. Or if you're feeling a little bit more feminine, the Windy Cindy room. Odme making nice work of it. And now going to be heading into the second trial room as Bagajr Jr. enters the first one. So, Bagajr Jr. is just about to head to the Taifu, the Blowy Joey, the Windy Cindy, the insert meme name here. Blowing off all the spinies. Got a bit better spiny luck, I believe, than Odme did. Ooh, Odme almost messed up there. This Goomba switch can be kind of a tricky thing to hit. And if you are not correct, you can accidentally get a Goomba killed. And either go for a different moon route or just die here to reset the room. So now Odme heading to the last moon. Going to be heading to the Snowy Mountain. Not going to be seeing the brutal fight that usually happens in Snowy Mountain. At the top of Snowy Mountain's trial room, there is a brutal fight against Rango, who you may or may not remember as the brutal from... what's it called? Lake Kingdom, the tall farmer guy. Yeah, we're not going to fight him again here. He's at the top of this mountain, but fortunately, for the 10th and final moon, there is a secret right behind this wall. Osmo the cat, that hat scares you. I really hope you're joking, because you're going to see this hat for the rest of your time watching this game. And that includes the next kingdom coming up for Odme. With no spoilers, because you all know at this point is going to be Luncheon Kingdom. So, Bagajr Jr. Also heading back to the Odyssey, Bagajr Jr. Done with Snow. I believe saved a little bit of time over on me in that Snow Kingdom, so nicely done. Hat is creepy. Oh well. There's still another good 35 minutes or so with this hat. I think I meant 25. 35 seems like a lot. That seems like my PD even, and we don't want to be on that level. But Luncheon Kingdom, is one of the longer kingdoms and one of the more challenging kingdoms. Even with that very first jump, you do that salt pile early, going all the way up to how you get to the end of the stage, to the meat twitching section. I don't take that the wrong way, please. There's a lot of tricky movement in Luncheon Kingdom. But one thing that I don't think is very tricky is the Spewer Brutal fights. And we're fighting him again for the first time since Wooded Kingdom. I believe it's our first actual Brutal fight since Wooded Kingdom even, because we skipped the ones in Snow, and there was never one in Seaside. Very nice fight, though. Spewer may be pretty easy, but if you're still, I don't know, you can still mess it up if you're not perfect. Or slip-ups happen, you know? I don't really know the best way to word this, but they do happen and they can cause you to mess up Spewer at points. Usually, though, your Spewer is fine as long as you're focused. So now heading into the second part, Odd Me Soon will be Yoda. No, but the second part of Luncheon really consists of this town area that Odd Me is about to enter through the wall. Don't ask. Odd Me bonking on the wall. The wall can be kind of tricky because obviously it's not the most of intended to go on this wall, but at the same time there is a moon up here. So you'd expect some of the collision to be a little better, because it can be kind of tricky to be on this wall at times. So, yeah, Omni's now going to be just getting some moons around this town. And we have reports from First Runs in chat, who's been doing some timings. Apparently, Baga Jr. saved alone 5 seconds in that first quarter of Luncheon Kingdom before the fight against Spewer. So, hopefully we'll be able to see more time saved from Baga Jr. and see if he can pull out, at the very least, a really close. This race is not far, but it could be a bit closer. But I mean, unfortunate things happen to Baga Jr., so you can't really blame him. So now, this is one of the kingdoms where there can be a bit of a route divergence. The first one being what secret bonus room you go into. So Odd Me is here in the fork flicking room, which is 1 second faster if you do it right than the other room. So Odd Me did pretty good on the forks, and Baga Jr. is also heading to the fork. So it looks neither of these racers are going to be doing the lava bubble room, which is the one that loses a second compared to doing a really good forks. And Odd Me getting on top of the crag, not grabbing any turnips, so we won't see a box clip from Odd Me. I'm really hoping we'll see a box clip. I've seen in my entire life one box clip ever, and it was really cool. I'll explain that now, though, before we see if Baga Jr. goes for it. You see that box that Odd Me just unblocked? If you grab a turnip and a hammer, bro, you can clip through that box and skip having to... Oh, Baga Jr. grabbing a golden turnip, swag turnip, before getting that moon. We'll maybe see a turnip flip from Baga Jr. here. Using a turnip and a pan bro, which are one of these enemies. I don't know if they're pan bro or just hammer bros. I'm gonna call them a pan bro. You can position the turnip and the pan bro correctly to clip through, and absolutely nailing it. Baga Jr. clipping through the box. Unfortunately, because Nintendo didn't think too much about this, there's no collision on the inside of the box. These boxes are one-way walls. So, Baga Jr. is not soft lock. Baga Jr. will be able to walk right out of this box and skip using the Panbro to break the Chief's rocks and hit the switch, which the Panbro can kind of not want to throw pans in the right way, so it's a very nice skip. And on me pausing because a little bit early on skipping the cutscene, but this little pot of stew right here has a multi-moon in it. So we end off the kingdom by entering this pot of stew and grabbing this Grand Moon. I should mention that actually, I've been saying Grand Moon, but I slipped out saying multi-moon there, although the text said Grand Moon. In some languages of this game, including Japanese, which is what each player is playing on because it's the fastest language, it's called the Grand Moon, but in other languages, such as the English version of the game, it's called a multi-moon. So now Ami's going to be heading into a rather weird kingdom. Coming up is Ruined Kingdom, which similarly to Cloud Kingdom earlier in the run, like about half an hour ago or so. This is just going to be a glorified boss fight arena. That's really what this kingdom is. And not only that is this basically glorified boss fight arena, but it's a glorified boss fight arena for a boss that you really would not expect in a Mario game. Some call it the Elder Scrolls boss, the Skyrim, you know what I mean. The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Some call this the Skyrim Kingdom. Some call this the Dark Souls Kingdom. I like to combine the two, call it the Dark Scrolls Kingdom. It's the Lord of Lightning. There's just this really cool-looking dragon in this game. Because no game is complete without a really cool-looking dragon, is it? So, I'm sorry about that. But, this boss is actually just kind of a glorified auto-scroller. You can save around a second or so each cycle by standing on it while it's invulnerable with the purple sparks, so that you can start grabbing the swords out of its head like a second or so earlier instead of waiting for it to stop being electric so you can jump on it. Damage boosting is a great tool. And so yeah, again, it saves only about a second each cycle, so it saves 3 seconds throughout the course of the fight, so it's recommended usually you do it, because there is ample hearts around the arena for you to pick up, so you should never need to worry about running out of health. And Omni pulled out all the stops and all the swords to get a rather nice Ruined Kingdom. Ash Smash in chat saying it looks like the Jabberwocky from Alice in Wonderland. That's a new one for me, but I don't know if okay. I'll think about it. So, on me heading out of Ruined Kingdom here, and heading into Bowser's Kingdom shortly, as Baga Jr. just now defeating the Ruined Kingdom boss. I agree with you, EJ Dared. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong in chat, but EJ Dared, I'm gonna just hope that's right. I agree that I really wish there was more to Ruined Kingdom, because I really would like the idea of exploring this kind of abandoned, ruined castle town area, similar to like the Hyrule Castle town in Breath of the Wild, but unfortunately we don't really get to. And we do have Bowser's Kingdom, though, that Omni's in now, and that's pretty nice. I mean, oh, we have Odmi going for a little bit of Pokio-less movement here. Those Pokio birds, you can stick their beaks into the walls and use them to climb up the walls. But if you're good enough, you can not have to use the Pokios in that section. Honestly, I feel like if you expanded that abandoned castle town area, it would have been a great fit for Bowser's Kingdom, or for like a kingdom for Bowser to be in. But this Bowser's Kingdom, I still rather like it, and I'm glad it's in the game. We have Baga Jr. grabbing some Pokios, going for a different route than Odmi here. So in this kingdom, you still have to collect all the story moons to leave the kingdom, but for some reason you also just have to collect 2 other random moons that are scattered throughout the kingdom. So Baga Jr. did a little bit of a strat there, where using motion controls, you grab onto the Pokio at the top of the building right after getting the moon that's at the bottom of the building. Odmi's on the moon shard section, and Baga Jr.'s very close to entering the moon shard segment. And Odmi getting onto the bird, not even getting glory hole either. I think it's a fair thing to assume at this point that Odmi will be going for the back of the, or for the boxes behind the wall before the Mecha Brutal. But I guess, again, we'll always see when it happens. So Odmi's heading up to 2 Brutal fights. We haven't seen Brutal since Luncheon. Brutals are actually not too common. You only fight, I think, 6, not including Mecha Brutal or Madame Brood, in this run. And 3 of those fights are done within like the first 20 minutes. And then 2 of them are right here. You're going to see the second fight in this run against Topper. Odmi messing up a little bit on Topper, still able to recover fairly quickly for it to not be too costly. But still a small mishap. And the other one here is going to be the one Odmi's heading into now, is going to be Harriet. Which, this is the first time you see Harriet in any percent. You see Baga Jr. going for Harriet first. And, yeah. So, even if Baga Jr. defeats the Brutal before Odmi does, which I don't even know will happen at this point, it's still a little bit of an Odmi advantage due to already having Topper defeated. Topper's not too bad at a Brutal, though. I don't know if I ever finished saying this, but we didn't fight Harriet before this, but, Harriet's first appearance was in Sand Kingdom at the top of the inverted pyramid, which was later in the story than we went in Sand in the Any Percent route, because the Any Percent route barely follows the story of Sand Kingdom at all. It used to get 1 moon from Sand Kingdom, but now not anymore. It only gets like, or 1 solar moon, but now it doesn't get any. One thing you might notice as Odmi's going through the kingdom is that the moons that are like part of the story have cutscenes after them that take longer than normal moons do. Bagajr Jr. had a little bit of a mishap there with, what's it called? What's your name? What's your name? It's your name? Topper. But Bagajr Jr. is now about to get his moon as Omni got that moon behind that wall and is now going to begin the climb to Mecha Brutal. Sorry, I just had to watch an off for a second. As Omni absolutely nailed that movement with the Pokio. Oh, sir, yes, chat's noticing. I'm getting kind of sleepy, but we're not too far from the finish. Omni's now entering the fight against Mecha Brutal. Getting a strat called Birdless. Getting up to the top of the Mega Brutal without having to use one of the Pokios to... intentionally on the first hit, what you're supposed to do is use the bombs that the mech fires to break the legs. But you can climb up it by backflipping and stuff and doing all sorts of cool jumps. And staying on top of it, using correctly timed cap dives, you can stay on top of the Brutal and skip attack cycles whenever it's deemed necessary. And Odyssey's Mecha Brutal fight was absolutely beautiful. Wow. I can hardly believe it myself. Bagajr Jr. now in the second hit, getting the second hit, about to go into the Starman legs, the Rainbow legs, the Invincibility legs. Insert your legs here. Metaton legs. And Oddme about to grab the Grand Moon for defeating Mecha Brutal, and after a few more cutscenes, Oddme will be on his way to the final kingdom of the game. And a little bit of a stutter on that last hit, but Bagajr Jr. with an almost equally amazing fight on that Mecha Brutal. Well done for both of these racers. And I haven't said this yet, but these racers are heading into the end game. And so you've already seen a whole lot of this run, so if you've liked what you've seen from either of these runners, I'd 100% recommend giving them a follow, because I definitely think they're great people and deserve said follow. But now it's time for the ending. Bagajr Jr. still has a bit of cutscene to go through, but Oddme is now going to be taking the Odyssey to the Moon Kingdom. And really, it's amazing to see how the distance is between these two. Both of them played very solidly throughout most of this race, with the exception of the unfortunate Klepto on Bagajr Jr.'s side. But Oddly still had a death struggle, with a death early on in Lost, so Lost was really not a good point for both of these racers, but besides that, they have been playing very solidly. And MK Cocoon, yeah, Odyssey races can be pretty brutal, mainly because of kingdoms like Lost and Bowser's, where one mistake can really just make a huge difference. Bagajr Jr. had a pretty decent lead against Oddme, but like one major mistake in Lost caused a minute behind Oddme in Lost that still was not recovered throughout the entirety the upcoming 40 minutes of the race that have happened. I failed to explain Moonskip while talking to the chat about the race. The Moonskip, you saw it on Omni's screen, and you're about to see it on Vaga Jr.'s screen. There's a Sphinx behind this moon cave, and what you can do with the Sphinx is do a series of jumps off of it, and if you do the jumps correctly, you will skip the entirety of the moon cave, which saves about 4 minutes, I believe. Vaga Jr. got the skip first try. Omni's in the second Bowser fight. The second Bowser fight is very similar to the first Bowser fight. Vaga Jr. fell back down and has to do the skip again. But the only real major difference between the first and second Bowser fights is that, first off, the setting's a bit different. But mostly, Bowser's going to be doing way more tail whips in the first phase than in the first fight and in the second fight. And if you get hit by one of those tail whips, you're back to the beginning of the cycle. You have to take the hat back, you have to do all that stuff again. And the second major difference is that there's a lot more fire. There's cycles in between attacks in which Bowser will spit more fire, because that's really all Bowser needs to do is spit fire, and he will get the biggest villain paycheck of any video game villain. But it doesn't mean it's hard to take down, because Omni does a swell job of finishing the fight. As long as he doesn't get hit by a tailspin. Alright. Omni. Heading into the last section. So Omni and Vaga Jr. have both been seen in chat during this race. So there's a shortcut here, the 2D shortcut, that Omni, I don't know if he's gonna go for it, because he should know that he's ahead, and I don't think that's really a risk worth taking. But if Omni just wants to see the coolest person alive, could go for it. I'm not gonna shame you in not trying the 2D shortcut, but I don't know how Omni feels. He's going for it, and he does it. What a madman. Alright. And Vaga Jr. heading into the escape section. As Omni's about to head into the anime section of the escape. I mean, listen to this song. This is anime. I don't have anything against anime. I'd like to clarify this. If you like anime, good on you. I'm actually not seen too much anime, so I can't judge, but this song just sounds like it comes straight from anime. So now Omni's goal is to destroy these 4 pillars, and using fireballs you can destroy them from a distance, which is pretty nice, because having to go up to slap the pillars is less fast than destroying them using fireballs from a distance. So the fireballs are a real lifesaver in some cases. And Omni makes it up to the final spire, destroying this cube with Bowser, getting hit by a rock, but you have 6 HP as Bowser, so it's not too bad. Jumping on this electricity pylon, and last off, Omni finished first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 48 seconds. Good game, Omni. Meanwhile, we have Vaga Jr. in the anime section. Good job. So, and yeah, for those saying Omni's timer ended a second early, there is a bit of capture card delay on Omni's end. I suffer the same thing. I believe we used the same capture card. So, Yeah, no, don't worry. We're still using SRL time here, really. And Baga Jr. is destroying the post right now. About to finish. And I mean, hey, still a sub 110. Second place time of 109.57. 1 hour, 9 minutes, 57 seconds. Not bad at all. That was a good race. GG to both. 2 sub 110s is a great sight. Yeah, absolutely a fun race to watch. Once again, both of these runners, I'd recommend throwing a follow. So, Baga Jr. still has not responded to my interview request, but hopefully we'll be seeing Oddme in here fairly soon. And here he is. Hello.
Is this thing on? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
I got a 108.
Congratulations. That was a PB, correct? What was that? Was that a 40-second PB?
Yeah, it was a 39-second PB, but
okay.
40.
Well, I'm rounding. I'm being generous. So, still, good job.
I cannot believe I did that.
Yeah. And
Another
death and
PB
lost
got in
too.
an attorney race.
Nice job. You had a death and lost too, I remember. So, you still have time saved.
Yeah, I died on Meme Tree at the start of Lost. I also died in sand again, just like my last PB.
Oh yeah, you did die in sand. I forgot about that one. So yeah, you saw
my early game was so bad.
Unintentional. Yeah, your early game, no offense, was not the cleanest. Still a very good job though.
I mean, I'm known for clutching out late game and also choking on Moon Kingdom, but mostly for clutching late game and getting a PB. But
yeah. So I still haven't gotten a response from Baga Jr. about an interview, and I honestly don't know if I'll be getting one at this point.
I was so nervous going into this race because I saw on his last race he got a 109, and I'm like, unless I PB again, there's no way I'm winning this race. Because I haven't played since my last PB, which was my last tourney race.
So you PB'd in both play-in races, playoff thing.
And
nice.
At the start of the race, I actually wasn't paying that much attention because average Trey got sub 3 and 120 shines in SMS, and I was popping off. And then I'm like, wait, I need to actually play the video game.
That was my entrance to this race, was something along the lines of like, in 3D Mario news, average Trey literally at this moment got sub 3 in Mario Sunshine, but this is Odyssey. Like, that was quite actually my intro. But now we're not at the intro of the race anymore. So I guess a few questions. You were watching the stream. Yeah, you've been watching the stream during the race, correct?
Since I exited Trey's stream and popped in here, I was watching, and like I saw Baga Jr. was ahead of me because I messed up T-Rex jump and the Madame Brood fight. I'm like, that's fine, I can maybe come back from this. And then I died in sand. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I can win this race. And then I saw that Klepto took Cappy for him, and I'm like, how? And I just, after dying and lost, I thought that was it, but then I saw Cappy got stolen on his end, so I still had faith that I could win the race.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, I know for a lot of people, Baga Jr. was the favorite, but you still had Tech believing in you.
Yeah,
no,
Tech's my boy. I love Tech.
I believe Tech is all of our boys, like the boy of all of us, really. But no,
Yeah,
in all seriousness,
Yeah, I got a question from Jack Jelly V. Any new strats or any strats for new runners? Don't watch the world record, please, because you'll like die trying to learn all that stuff.
oh yeah, the world
Just
record.
watch like a runner with like a 115 or a PB around those lines, or just watch one of the world records from like November or December, because those strats were pretty good at the time, but it's nothing compared to the stuff that runners do now. And also join the Odyssey speedrunning Discord, because there's over 3,000 people in there that can help you with stuff.
I don't want to be a bit of a rude person by kind of shoving myself in the spotlight for a second, but I've mentioned many times you can follow these runners, but if you want to follow me, I currently am in like the high teens range. My PB is a low 119, and I don't do a lot of advanced strats, so I feel like I'm more of a runner you can watch for more beginner-friendly strats. You definitely did not pull some beginner-friendly strats.
Yeah. If you want to learn from me, don't watch my town hall, because you'll struggle.
That town hall
Not to toot my own horn, but I consider myself the god of City Hall.
That was an impressive city hall. My city hall is just
follow him.
falling.
I don't know if Bagajr Jr. is gonna show up, but follow him. He's a very good runner, and also follow Lori, as she said, because he's a pretty beginner runner, so you can learn strats easily.
Yeah. Also, if you like my talking, I talk a lot. Yeah. Odme, don't sleep on following Odme though. Odme is a great streamer as well. You recently last month won the 602.
Yeah,
the winner.
I won the 602 race, and going into that, I had like 1 week of prep.
Well, as we learned from both that and today, you don't need too much prep to prove your skill at 3D Mario. Absolutely, that was absolutely great.
Playing these games for almost like 4 years now. So.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm done for now. I don't think there's any more races tonight, at least on this channel.
I don't think there is. There's been a few like things weird with the schedule. We have a current match scheduled for like a week from now. The only other match written on the schedule is Thursday, February 1st. But I mean, it's Dram 55 and Nerf 0, so that's still a good race to know about, because those are two great runners.
Yeah.
But I
Dram
mean,
is like a top 10 runner. He's insane.
Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Gonna be going off, I guess.
Yeah, and so you can head out, because I'm just gonna talk a little bit more.
All right, thanks for having me. Follow me on Twitter.
Or Twitch. Twitch works too. But unfortunately there's no more Odyssey today, but that doesn't mean there's no more speed gaming today. Are you kidding? Of course there's going to be more speed gaming today. Currently happening on Zelda happening. Okay, now that I can words, currently happening on Speed Gaming 2, there is a Zelda 1 randomizer race. I don't know the contestants, and the later portions of the 8 p.m. Link to the Past randomizer daily race are currently going on Speed Gaming 3. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern, in about an hour, another Zelda 1 randomizer is going to happen on Speed Gaming 4. And then at 11 p.m. you have whatever you want to watch between Speed Gaming 3's third daily at 11 p.m. Speed Gaming 2's Zelda 1 randomizer at 11 p.m. Eastern. And Speed Gaming 1, this channel right here, has a Zelda 1 vanilla, so not randomized, 80% no up A, also at 11 p.m. So you've still got a fair selection of races to watch on Speed Gaming. until the very early morning, even at midnight, and going well into tomorrow morning is going to be many, many, many races for you to watch on Speed Gaming. If you want to have the schedule, here you go. We have some new tournaments starting within the next couple of weeks. You can look at speedgaming.org/events or at the Twitch panels below the stream to look at some of the newer tournaments or some of the standings of other current tournaments that I did not mention earlier. But with that, that's all I have to talk about. So I'm Lord Beaver, and I will be seeing myself out now. I hope you enjoyed the commentary and the race, because all we want at Speed Gaming is some good spectatorial fun. I don't think spectatorial is a word, but now it is. See you later.